Hello children, a very warm welcome to the virtual session again. So in this session we will continue with the chapter 6, that is part 6, physical change and chemical changes. So we are going to see physical changes and chemical changes. Under this we are going to learn today crystallization. We have seen many physical and chemical changes in our previous session. Here in this session we are going to see the process of crystallization, what is crystallization and why we are learning crystallization, what is so important about crystallization, what type of change it is. We are going to look into this process in this session children, and it's extremely important process, that's why we are learning this in this chapter. Now crystallization is a physical change. Please mark children, it's a physical change. That's why we are learning in this chapter. The chapter name is physical changes and chemical changes. So crystallization is a physical change. Why it is a physical change and why we are learning crystallization, the importance of crystallization in a day-to-day life, we are going to see. That's why we are learning it. We are going to see this in this session. So it is a process of obtaining crystals of a pure substance from its solution. For example, we can obtain the crystals of copper sulfate by boiling copper sulfate solution. So children, you have to take this down in your notebook. You are going to continue to write crystallization process we are learning today, and you are going to write is a physical change, and please write down the process, what exactly the process is, and the example as well. Then what is the principle behind crystallization? The principle behind the crystallization is that the amount of solute that can be dissolved by a solvent increases with the temperature. Now you have learned that when you increase the temperature of the solvent, you can add more and more solute to it. You have learned this, how you prepare, make saturated solution, and when you heat the solution, when you increase the temperature, there is a more scope of adding more solute. At room temperature you prepare a saturated solution where it will not take any more solute. For example, at room temperature 100 ml of water can dissolve maximum 36 grams of common salt, that is the salt which we eat. So 36 gram of common salt can be dissolved in 100 ml of water at room temperature. But if you increase the temperature of the solution, and it will take up more and more salt. So you can increase the temperature, and then that process is really helping here for crystallization. So how it will help, let us see. The crystallization is that amount of solute that can be dissolved by solvent increases with temperature. In crystallization, the impure substance is dissolved in a suitable solvent to reach its nearly saturated solution at a temperature higher than the room temperature. That means you are increasing the temperature more than the room temperature, and you are adding more and more solute. What will happen? The impure substance with the pure substance in the saturated solution, after cooling you will get only pure substance as crystal. The impure substance will be left behind. This is crystallization children. So in crystallization, the impure substance is dissolved in a suitable solvent like copper sulfate. Impure copper sulfate, you take powder that is impure form, and you dissolve in water, that is your solvent, and you keep dissolving it till the saturation point is reached, and when you boil it or when you heat it, it will take up more of copper sulfate. So and then you have to cool it down at room temperature. So while cooling down, the crystals of copper sulfate will separate, leaving behind the impurities. This is what crystallization. So crystallization is basically you form crystals of the pure substances, and you remove impurities. You have to take this down in your notebook children. One activity we will discuss over here. You need not write this, you try to understand the activity. First of all, take some water in a beaker, add few drops of sulfuric acid, that is H2SO4. Then you have to heat the mixture on a burner, add copper sulfate powder when it starts boiling. Keep stirring the solution because you have to dissolve copper sulfate in water. Stirring will help to for dissolving copper sulfate. Keep adding copper sulfate powder to the solution until it is soluble. So you have to keep adding till it is soluble. Okay. After a certain point, it will not dissolve any copper sulfate. So you have to keep adding to the solution until it is soluble. Now you have to use a filter paper and you have to filter the solution. Once you get the filtration done, all the impurities, all the impure dirt and all the soil and mud, the impurities which is not required in the copper sulfate will be left behind in the filter paper, and the solution which you will get will be only of copper sulfate, which you are going to allow it to cool it down. You will see crystals of copper sulfate suspended in the solution. Once I start cooling, you will see crystals of copper sulfate beautifully formed in the solution. You can see this experiment over here where you have a experimental setup. You have taken a water bath, that is a beaker containing water. We are not directly heating the crucible or the china dish, in which you are taking a copper sulfate solution. You are boiling water with the help of the burner, and you have to keep a wire gauze and a tripod stand. This is the experimental setup. And in the china dish, you keep on boiling the water bath, that is in the beaker. Copper sulfate solution will start boiling, and due to evaporation, water will evaporate. At a certain point you will see some copper sulfate crystals coming out. Then you will stop and you are going to filter it. Then filtration will help to separate the crystals. Here you can see the crystals of copper sulfate, how this is formed. Once you finish with that steps with the procedure, this is how after cooling you can see. You can keep a thread inside with one crystal of copper sulfate. What will happen? The crystal from the solution will try to attach to that crystals which you have kept in the thread, and this is how the crystal will get attached to the thread, and you will get all beautiful crystals of copper sulfate. This is the crystal's pure form of copper sulfate you will get. So crystallization basically is done to get the pure form of the substance, because when crystals are formed, they will leave behind the impurities. Crystals formation of the saturated solution will not allow impurities in the crystal. This is how crystallization process takes place, and it is very useful process. Can you see these beautiful crystals of copper sulfate, children? And it is a pure form of copper sulfate. Application of crystallization. Why we are learning crystallization? What is the use? The technique should have wide applications. That's why we need to learn it. So we will see application of crystallization. The most practical usage of crystallization is salt crystallization, and it's the most cost effective way to produce salt even at today. You have to take this down in your notebook, children. So the crystals, pure form of common salt which we consume, which we have in a food, we get with the help of crystallization only. So it is not only copper sulfate crystals you can get all the salts you can purify by this method. Nowadays, this is the most cost effective method to get a pure form of common salt. You get crystals of common salt, a pure form of common salt you get due to the process of crystallization, and it's a very cost effective. That means at a very low cost. You have seen the experimental setup, the simple setup. You don't need any advanced techniques, you don't need expensive devices, scientific devices to do crystallization. So it's a very cost effective process, children. And other applications also include compound purification. That means most of the salts you can purify by this method. And you want to have crystals, you can have beautiful crystals with the help of crystallization. You have to take this down in your notebook, children. See the application in your day-to-day life where you get of sugar, crystallization of sugar. The crystals of sugar you get because of the process of crystallization. Similar method followed as we do crystallization of copper sulfate. So simple method of getting a saturated solution, heating it, adding more and more till it will not take any more, and then you are going to filter it. It will remove all the impurities, cool it down. Hot solution you are going to filter and then going to cool it down. You get beautiful crystals of many compounds. See the crystals of sugar. You must have seen at home, children, in the kitchen. Uh, this is how you get the pure form of sugar. Nowadays, all the companies which are there for sugar, they do crystallization by this method. It's a simple method, and you get a pure form of sugar like this. Beautiful crystals of sugar you get. Then you can see how common salt crystals are also obtained. These are the crystals of common salt, that is your NaCl, which you consume in your food in a day-to-day life. It's very essential. So these are the crystals form of common salt, and this is done with the help of crystallization. So you have seen in today's session the physical change, that is crystallization, is so extremely important in a day-to-day life, and you have seen how wide application it has in a life. That's why we need to learn crystallization. Is it clear, children? I think the concept of crystallization is very clear with you. Basically, to get a pure form of this substance, and if you want desirable crystals, you can get with the help of crystallization. I hope the concepts very clear, children, for today, and we will continue with the same chapter in the next session. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. See you very soon, children.